Hello everyone, welcome to Ageless Rock. In this video, I'm going to share with you the world's largest religious monument. This temple should be so famous, everyone should be talking about it like they do to pyramids of Egypt. This enormous Hindu temple deserves more fame than where it is today simply because it has 7 mysteries which I'm going to share with you. The first reason I think it cannot be done by human is simply the speed of the project. Angkor Wat is not just a temple, it is the largest in the world. The scale of this project is mind-boggling. The inner moat perimeter is about 1 kilometer long and approximately 800 meters wide. There is 3.6 kilometer run around the inner moat. It is surrounded by outer wall of Angkor Wat. The length of this temple is 1.5 kilometers by 1.3 kilometers, while the width of the moat is an impressive 190 meters wide. This largest temple in the world sits on 163 hectares or 403 acres of land. This massive project took only 28 years. I find that to be incredibly fast as they have only ancient tools to work with, so let's do some math. To calculate the moat area, I simply deduct the outer area of 1.9 million square meters with the inner moat area of 821,248 square meters. The moat area comes to 1,128,752 square meters. The moat is 4 meters deep. That means approximately 4.5 million cubic meters were removed with ancient tools in 28 years. If 4.5 million cubic meters were dug out in 28 years, and assuming they only work 12 hours a day, the super hardworking Cambodians will have to manage digging 36 cubic meters every hour. That is an impressive 1 cubic meters every 1.7 minutes for 28 years. The box next to the man is 1 cubic meters in volume. Assuming ancient Cambodians used manual labor to dig the moat, there will be hundreds of Cambodians digging into the ground, producing 1 box of earth every 1.7 minutes for 28 years. In comparison to Khufu's pyramid, which is 2.6 million cubic meters, the volume of the moat itself is 4.5 million cubic meters. That is a 1.7 times more volume than Khufu's pyramid. Experts estimate the sandstones needed to build Angkor Wat is between 5 to 10 million tons, with an average stone weighing 1.5 tons. Unlike Khufu's pyramid, these stones were polygonally carved and stacked. Imagine if this is a church, all the Bible stories were written on the wall. It would have been as famous as the Vatican. Based on an estimated 7.5 million tons of sandstone used at Angkor Wat Temple, compared to 6.5 million tons of limestone for Khufu's pyramid tomb, Angkor Wat would have been 3 million cubic meters compared to Khufu's pyramid at 2.6 million cubic meters. The moat would have required a removal of 4.5 million cubic meters of earth. With 3 million cubic meters for the temple and 4.5 million cubic meters for the moat, Cambodians had effectively reshaped Mother Nature 7.5 million cubic meters of earth into a splendor unrivaled by any civilization. Think about the management of moving volume of materials 3 times that of Khufu's pyramid to a flawless completion. Then they vanish from history without a trace. With today's technology, we are able to move 1 block of 1-ton laterite each lift. With the help of a crane, we can only do transport and place 15 blocks a day. At this rate, it will take 300 years to complete Angkor Wat. So how can ancient Cambodians do it in 28 years? Look at this causeway made of sandstone blocks leading towards Angkor Wat. With today's technology, at the rate of 15 to 20 tons per day, this causeway alone would take a few years. In perspective to the size, the 3 pyramids of Giza can fit nicely within the moat of Angkor Wat. The entire site can sit nicely inside Angkor Wat within its interior wall of the moat. Angkor Wat is believed to have been built to represent the home of the gods. The towers were shaped like lotus bud. The main temple is nothing but a massive stacking of sandstone blocks. There are 108 lotus bud towers, which is also a sacred number in Hinduism and Buddhism. It is believed that this place was once buzzing with life when 1 million Cambodians once inhabited this city. Let's zoom in and take a look at the retaining wall of Angkor Wat. It is a massive 215 meters by 187 meters in dimension. The wall is nothing but an impossible task of carvings and stackings of sandstone even with today's technology. This monument is so enormous, it is even hard to destroy. It survived wars and pillages. In the later part of history, excavations and restorations were predominantly done by the French. Believe it or not, we still do not know how ancient Cambodians quarried, transport the stones, dressed and carved into perfect size where each block is a perfect match. If we use machine today, there will be rejects, but the ancient Cambodians seem to have done it with none. I used Google Street View to check out the 4.5 meter high outer wall. It is definitely an impressive achievement with laterite stone. Since this is a temple, not a fort, I'm not sure why there is a wall. They could have built many temples with the manpower and material. The second reason is the astronomical significance. During the spring equinox, the sun will be directly above the main temple. The light will shine into the temple like a laser. It will shine directly at the stone box, which is 90 feet below ground level. A similar stone box can be seen at Bantier Samray Temple. As usual, whenever mainstream sees a stone box, it is always a sarcophagus. Whenever the box is empty, that means the mummy was stolen. The problem with the theory that Angkor Wat is a tomb is that the stone box is too small and can only fit a baby. Also, there is a hole on the lid and the side to prove that this is not a sarcophagus. It is a mystery why the largest temple in the world was built according to solar movement, as if the stone box 30 meters below the ground level will be activated by sunlight and produce energy for some purpose we do not know. This is Angkor Wat in the center of planet Earth. If you are the sun, you will be shining down to Angkor Wat in spring equinox. If you see from the side, the sun shines into Angkor Wat's underground stone box and disperses the energy at a tangent. It might have some significant meaning if you are traveling from outer space and need to receive transmission from Earth as a guide. I don't think Angkor Wat is just a temple. It is perfectly aligned for astronomical reasons our feeble minds have yet to understand. The third mystery is the quincunx formation we don't understand. The first enclosure has an interesting quincunx formation. The second and third are rectangular in dimension. The quincunx formation is a lesser known mystery, but it definitely has something to do with megalithic culture and UFO. Zhou Daguan, who was a Chinese diplomat, wrote extensively about Angkor Wat and the daily life of the people in Cambodia in 1296 AD. At that time, he already mentioned that the construction was possibly built in one night by a divine architect, according to local legend. That means Cambodians at that time already didn't know who built it. So how can the construction took place between 1122 AD and 1150 AD? But by 1296 AD, which is only 146 years later, no one knows who and how it was built. Some local tour guides will tell you that it was a giant race with European features who built this temple in one day. Maybe the statues on the left are actually life-size giants. So the fourth mystery is who built it. The most compelling evidence that it was built by unknown ancient megalithic builders is their polygonal masonry without gap. Imagine Khufu's pyramid is made up of polygonal stone blocks. That would have been clearly impossible to say it was done by human. But when the blocks were laid out over an area the size of 163 hectares, it becomes very hard to see the impossible structure. I don't have any problem believing that this bas-relief depicting Indian literature of Mahabharata and Ramayana a few kilometers long was carved by Cambodians. However, the fifth mystery, the impossible polygonal wall, is what bothers me. Thousands of stone blocks can be made a lot faster at industrial scale if they were made the same. After all, it is just a thick wall. Why choose the impossible polygonal style where every block is different and hard to fit? The gallery alone is 1000 square meters. You would think that having big blocks of sandstones would be sufficient enough as far as stability is concerned. Ancient Cambodians even used Mortise and Tenon techniques, even though they are typically for wooden construction without nails. If you believe that Cambodians actually built Angkor Wat, you have to believe that shaping sandstones with ancient tools were easy. If that is true, there will be palaces and residential houses all made of stone. The seventh mystery is the mysterious clams. Here is another evidence where Angkor was built by a megalithic culture. The clams that appear around the world is typically laid horizontally. This anomaly proves it was done by the same megalithic culture because we all know Cambodians don't pour liquid metal vertically on the wall. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching my presentation on Angkor Wat and see you next time. Lê Hai.